So today I'm doing a tour of Cambridge of all the Pink Floyd sites. This is number 60 Glisson Road, so this is the house where Syd Barrett was born. And then a couple of years later, at age 3, he moved to 183 Hills Road. So this is quite impressive where I'm standing. But I kind of think it should have a blue plaque here. I mean, there's a plaque at the university that says Syd Barrett studied here. The really blue plaques belong where a person lives, not really studied. So I'm outside Hills Road, sixth form college, and according to a bit of research online, a couple of members of Pink Floyd may have actually studied here in the 50s and 60s. So not far down the road is Syd Barretts' home he lived in from age 3 till so on 183 Hills Road. This is the location where Syd Barrett lived from age 3, and from what I read online, a Japanese Prime Minister actually lived there when he came to Cambridge. So you kind of think how a lot of people in Pink Floyd moved to houses. I mean, this is the second house Syd Barrett lived in, and then also he did live with his mother at 6 Margarets Square nearby. I think that's actually where he died in 2006, because he did live with his mum in his later life, and then she passed away, and then he just stayed in Cambridge. I mean, an interesting fact about Syd Barrett was he actually walked from London to Cambridge. I mean, that's about 50 miles or such, and when you compare that with all the walking I've done in my life, I mean, that's epic. I mean, makes all my walks I did from Chatsworth to the city look like. So here I am, on 42 Rock Road. That's what I'm looking for. The house of Roger Walter's mother. So, if you're gonna live on Rock Road, you're gonna end up on a rock star. Unless, of course, you don't like music. Here I am, number 42 Rock Road. There's a sign up there at the top of the house that says Fleetwood. Don't know why it says Fleetwood. Probably just the name of the house. So, this is the house that Roger Walter's mum owned, and he spent a lot of time in here in his younger days. It's a bit overgrown now. I wonder if anybody lives there. It's coincidental that Roger Waters and Syd Barrett just live near each other. I mean, actually, David Gilmour moved to Cambridge when he was 10 years old. So I've got a piece of paper in my pockets. Oh, it's got messing, but it's on my phone. I mean, the area where David Gilmour lived when he was 10, it was written to a song. So that's when I'm gonna head there next before I head home. I've also got to try to find where Syd Barrett lived in 6 St. Margaret's Street or something. Right, so I found a Wi-Fi spot near the bank where I go to, and 6 Margaret Square, it's just down the road from here. So when you're looking at Pink Floyd sites on Google Maps, when you save it on your Google Maps application, you gotta remember 183 Hills Road, 6 Margaret Square, and the Rock are all within walking distance in a short, less than a mile. The only big walk I gotta get out to is 109 Grandchester Meadows, where David Gilmour moved there in 1956, aged 10. So down the street right here, this is St. Margaret Square. Syd Barrett's mother owned a property here because her husband died quite young when Syd was young. And so Syd Barrett basically spent the later part of his life living in this part of Cambridge. There's a pub down the road called The Rock, just right there. And Syd Barrett used to pop in, but the saying goes, people trying to find Syd Barrett would come by and just go into the pub, and they're like, "Is Syd here?" And the classic saying was, "Syd's not home." Syd basically like lived a really seclusive life in his later part. I mean, in the paparazzi, you're allowed to go chase after him and will hassle him and take photographs of some bold English guy walking in the street, like trying to find, like, oh, is this Syd Barrett? Is this really Syd Barrett? And yeah, it was, yeah. But you know, sadly, Syd Barrett died in 2006, aged like 60, and like he actually died of pancreatic cancer, because he was plagued by, apart from mental illness, he was also plagued by type 2 diabetes, and also other health issues it kind of gets when you know, abuse drugs all your life, and you know, leads to horrible things. So here's a lesson for you children of the 21st century: don't take drugs. So this right here, it's 6 Margarets Square. Someone's taken the 6 off the door. I guess I get too many Pink Floyd fans coming by, but I mean that's number 7, so this is number 6. So this is the like house where Syd Barrett lived with his mum for the later part of her life and the later years of his life. Quite nice. Kind of reminds you of like the house in London where like Freddie Mercury used to live when he first came here. Just like I don't know British architecture, like being born in Australia, but I don't think how old the house would be. I mean, the house kind of looks like 1920s. But yeah. So like I think it's just safe to say like this is where Syd Barrett died. I'm not sure if he died in hospital or not, but it's a house where he lived later on in his life. I'm gonna go a bit of off topic of Pink Floyd, and I mean since I'm in Cambridge, I might as well let's get on the topic of Olivia Newton-John. Now Olivia was born in Cambridge in 1948, 70 years ago, and at age 5, the Newton-Johns they moved from Cambridge, sailed to Australia, and arrived in Melbourne. But the hard thing is, like, there's nothing online that says whether the Newton-Johns used to live in Cambridge. I mean, honest to God, the Newton-Johns are going to be walking down the streets 70 years ago, like Rin Newton-John and Irene Newton-John. So, if anybody does know where the Newton-Johns used to live in Cambridge, let me know in the comments, because I visit Cambridge a lot frequently because my cousin lives here. He's a lovely cousin of mine. So we spend a lot of good time listening to Pink Floyd, or enjoying it on most times. Yes, because there was a television movie they made in Australia starring Delta Goodrem, and it was about Olivia's life. But the dumb thing was they mentioned nothing about Cambridge. Like, the movie starts on the plot of Greece, and then it all goes back to Melbourne, like when Olivia's working on Sing Sing Sing. I felt like saying, for fuck's sake, go back to square one. Go back to where it all began in Cambridge. Like, I mean, think about Bryn Newton-John. He was a Nazi hunter. He put a couple of Nazis in the docks. And then Irene Bourne was the daughter of Max Bourne. Like, he won the Nobel Prize after his daughter, like, left to go to Australia. Thing is, like, I mean, people know where, like, the guys in Pink Floyd, like, grew up with, because, well, they made the house public. It basically says, yeah, I grew up in this part, Cambridge, and this part, and this part. I mean, that's how, like, they made things, like, public, and I mean, that's kind of like how there's a plaque where Freddie Mercury, like, originally, like, lived in the UK when he came from Zanzibar. I mean, if you go to Birmingham, you can find the house that Ozzy Osbourne, like lived in Aston, and that's not far from Villa Park, and I went there, like, just last year before I left Birmingham. You know, I mean, like, this is what, like, I'm trying to, like, find in my British life. I'm trying to find sites where rockers were born, where rockers lived, where rockers went out to drink, and where rockers died. So, being in Cambridge, it's quite an honour to go out and try to find Pink Floyd, like, childhood homes. It's the same thing if you're a Beatles fan. You go to Liverpool, you find out where John, Paul, Ringo, and George lived. Walk through the Meadows parts of Cambridge. So much nice things they've got there, like a lot of wildlife, and I mean they even use cows in open fields to graze. Something I never see in London though. So I'm just heading down the road down south to go visit where David Gilmour lived from age 10. His address from his childhood home is 109 Grandchester Meadows. Pink Floyd wrote a song in the earlier days called Grandchester Meadows, and it's been written on other travel blogs. Like when you come to Cambridge and you're walking through Grandchester Meadows, make sure you start playing that song on your iPhone. Here we are, Grandchester Meadows, location of David Gilmour's childhood street. 9 Grandchester Meadows. This is the house David Gilmour lived in from the age of 10 until I guess when he moved out when he was a teenager. So quite impressive how it looks like now. Just front of the house might have had a bit of work done in the last couple of years, but I mean it's still got the same foundation and instructions.